on some level, we hope doesn't put himself in harm's way, but certainly does leave his home, comes to the synagogue, goes to the sound and video closet, starts working on the service every week so that members of our congregation can feel connected. Things will happen when you're dealing with technology. And so I want to thank John Salve, who is here whenever he is needed. John and I put together, with the help of others, a congregational Seder last night on Zoom, as many did. And since so much can go wrong, we had about 50 homes, about twice that many participants, and different readers in different parts, and music and videos. And John, and I should give a shout out to my sister Nicole, who also worked through some glitches with me in advance. John and I spent hours. I wish I could say I was exaggerating, but this one really is an exaggeration. He took his first day of Pesach, spent hours on with me to make sure everything worked, and everything worked yesterday. So I guess the lesson is no one expected this system to have issues, but it does. And so I've been telling some of my worst jokes, but we weren't recording, so none of you heard them. And so we're going to switch gears. If we seem a little punchy, it's because for the last 15 minutes I've been talking to an empty sanctuary, wondering if anybody could hear a word I was saying, but just in case we were on, wanted my words to matter. So to my brother and others, I'm sorry you missed me talking to myself in the sanctuary with no one hearing it for 10 or 15 minutes, but that time is over. We are going to switch gears and continue with our service. We will call out some page numbers, but just a few announcements here at the beginning as we switch gears. One, some of you have talked about prayer books. Some of you have prayer books at home, and it's for that reason that we call out the page numbers that are in italics. You can buy a Kindle, an online copy of our prayer book. That's one way to go. You can also order a copy of the prayer book. Another option is that the Central Conference of American Rabbis put together a condensed version of the prayer book in a flip book. It's still about 400 pages, but it is different than either of the other versions. So we're hoping that beginning Monday, we'll start sending out a link to that flip book. In order to see it, you might have to choose between seeing us and staring at the flip book, unless you have multiple screens working at home. But know that the pagination of the flip book is different than prayer book 1. Prayer book 2, I don't know why. Some of it's the same, some of it's different. If we do use that book, and we'll know next week if we can get it organized, we'll be calling out the page numbers in that book, not in other books. Because I can only imagine the confusion if we say it's page 4 in one book, 127 in another book, and 322 in a third book. So if we can get the numbers set, we will be sending that link out several times next week, and you can practice with another piece of technology flipping through your flip book. But now we're going to take a deep breath. If you haven't read the Shabbat e-blasts, please do. Please scroll through them. Every week people say, when is this happening? Where is the link? It's all there. I don't mean that in a condescending way. But if you don't know the links are there, it means you don't know how much we are trying to create to fight that sense of isolation. John's been a huge part of that. Cantor Shoshana with the school and the religious school Facebook page has been a huge part of that. Our teachers have been putting up games and activities. John is here. I can call John and say, virus alert, you're on tomorrow night. For the next few weeks, no one's listed for services, because the most important thing is to be home and safe. So if our other plans don't come through, John says, I'm here, I'm ready, and leaving his family and joining us. And I am so grateful for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi.
So we take a deep breath, a word again about those, and then we will move forward. A word about those e-blasts. On Monday and now on Friday also, I'll send out reminders. And they have our activities for the week. So today to tomorrow is really an interactive Shabbat experience if you want it. At 11:30 a.m., Brooks Alcock on Zoom will be offering some prayers and meditations. And if you need that, click on the Zoom link. Come join us. If you don't want us to see you, turn your camera off. But just if you need that, that is our Shabbat worship at 11:30. At 1, Marge Van Geisen and Kim Factor will be teaching us to make chocolate matzah. They're pretty efficient, so they might be done by 1:15. So get on at 1 and join us for a dessert, or what we call in my family lunch, with chocolate matzah. And then at 6 o'clock, of course, there's a group of us that always join to end Shabbat with Havdalah for a few minutes. You're welcome to do that. And finally, what a country we live in. There are a group of professionals, actors, actresses, comedians from Broadway who are putting together a sort of fundraiser for coronavirus relief, the emergency fund, first responders fund, and they're going to be putting on YouTube a whole sort of telethon, if you will, telling jokes, offering stories of inspiration, and they're calling it the Fourth Night Seder. So this is all Jewish Idina Menzel, Josh Platt, Ben Platt, Sarah Silverman. I could go on and on and on and on, who are putting together a big show. There are about 40 or 50 of them remotely, who are going to put on what they call the Saturday Night Seder. It's a great time when we as Jews can do our part for the world. So that link is also on the e-blast. And then, of course, next Wednesday morning is the final day of Passover, and we'll be saying Yizkor, and you can join us. But again, you got to figure out the Zoom link, okay? If you're not sure how to use Zoom, and a lot of our streamers aren't, contact me. I'll walk you through it Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Just contact me and let me know. And so before we begin, a deep breath, taking in a little bit of Shabbat. We think about this time we live in. We think about the challenges we face. And in my family, like in many of yours, we have an afikomen bag, but we also have a bag for the matzot. The top, the middle, there are 3 matzot, and we break the middle one, yachatz, and we hide part as the afikomen. We say the blessing over matzah on the other. And so over the course of our Seder, the 2 broken pieces come together. And we have this wonderful afikomen bag that was given as a gift. Every year, Mimi and I, when we use this bag, when I take the bag out, no matter how well I've tried to clean it, there are always a few little bits of matzah. I shake it and shake it. They are reminders of past years. They are memories of the Seder. The same way when we open our Passover Haggadot, we see the wine spills and the folds and the bends that remind us of who were with us, memories of past Passovers. On this holiday, we have to try to imagine what those memories will be in the next year. What will be the crumbs, the memories that connect us to past Passovers? What will we take away from this time together? And how in this very challenging time will we be transformed from slavery to freedom? Because if we walk through this challenging time, healthy would be enough, but only healthy. What have we gained from this experience? We have seen our country turn to one another. We have seen some, not all, but many, put aside differences to work for the greatness of this country. We have seen the rhetoric on our social media pages tone down a little, and we have some act responsibly, and this is an opportunity. And so on this Passover, on this Shabbat, we have to ask ourselves what kind of people we will be when we return to our Passover next year. What will we offer and show? 4 questions for this Passover. On other years, we are unaware of our physical environment. True, we miss the hugging and the kissing, but we are often unaware of the voices and the look in the eyes, the people around us. On this year of masks and calls and the absence of those in-person connections, how will we be when next Passover comes? On all other Passovers and all other weeks, we have rushed from event to event and place to place, multitasking and running and going. On this Passover, we have been more patient, more willing to see the eyes of another, to take an opportunity, to take a call, to feel the pain of others. Will that last? On all other nights and Passovers and holidays, we have been quick to judge ourselves and quick to judge others. Will this Passover continue as we have been forgiving of others and forgiving of ourselves? will that extend to next Passover? On all other days of the week, we eat whatever we can, healthy, unhealthy. On Passover, we get rid of chametz. We clean, we remove the bread. The rabbis teach that chametz is not just the bread we eat, but our very essence, everything that gets in the way of our connection to each other and to the world. Will we do a better job of removing the chametz within ourselves between now and next Passover? What kind of people will we be when we open the door to Elijah next year? What kind of people will we be when we join in the 4 questions? A prayer for this Shabbat. And also a prayer for all those who risk their lives for us. As we do each Shabbat opening with a Misha Berach, we think of our first responders. I received a note, as did some of you, from Dr. Kerem Razak, a member of this congregation, one of many in this congregation, who was on the front lines, going into the hospital every day, disinfecting in his garage, changing down, redressing so he can enter his family's house, and hope he has minimized the exposure to them. He wrote an email to many of us this week that said, please take these restrictions seriously. He said in this email, I don't know what we will do if more sick keep coming in. So for those of us who drive around on emergency errands, I am sure essential, but we see the empty streets, we see the empty parking lots, and we say, looks fine and calm. There is another reality in our hospitals. There is another reality in our cemeteries. There is another reality among our first responders. And so we offer a prayer for them. May the one who blessed our fathers and mothers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and strengthen the doctors and nurses, all of the first responders who seek to heal those who are suffering. May God imbue them with courage and confidence, understanding and compassion, so that they may join in the work of healing. May God not surrender in despair or uncertainty, but work with them to help them engage in this sacred work with wholeheartedness and devotion. May God help each of them to accompany each of us through this journey, to speak with us, to listen with us, to work for healing. Together, may they strive with us for complete healing, a healing of body and spirit. Speedily we say, Baruch atah Adonai, matir asurim v'zokef kifufin. Blessed are you, Adonai, who frees the captive and lifts up the fallen. And we add in our prayers for healing the names of Annette Dover, Charlotte Fios, Stacy Lewis, Jeffrey Mark, Maria Schoen, Graham Baker, Elliot Blumberg, Katrina Joy Rogers, Eddie Sankery, Debbie Friedman, Claire Brunhild, Mike Fox, Ann Westerman, William Westerman, Bernice Etkoff, Robert Bogan, Ellen Alcon, Christopher Long, Brandon Levy, Leslie Arnob, Ellen Mack, Ted Mack, and Paul Headley.
Please join us on page 371 or 370 for Mi Sheberach. This will be the Lisa Levine tune. Join with me. Mi Sheberach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzhak, v'Yaakov. Mi Sheberach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, v'Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer. Hear our prayer and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope.
May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Misheberach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov. Misheberach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer. Hear our prayer and bless us as well.
On page 120 of our prayer book, we find the blessing for the lighting of Shabbat candles. May these candles bring light to us in the week to come, especially at the moments when we are most in need of light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner, lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
And because we know that many of you are watching this at home, surrounded by your dinner tables, we join in the Kiddush, the blessing over wine, and then the Motzi, page 123.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu melech haolam,
borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kosho be'ahava uvratzon inkilanu, zikaron lama'aseh v'reshit, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו זכרת, ואותנו קידשת מן כל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מן קדש השבת. Amen. Chaim.
Join together in the Motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. As we turn to page 142, Shalom Aleichem, O angels of peace, be with us on this Shabbat.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, mi melech malchei alachim hakadosh baruch hu. Bochem l'shalom, malchei hashalom, malchei elyon. Mi melech malchei alachim hakadosh baruch hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, malchei hashalom, malchei elyon. Mi melech malchei alachim hakadosh baruch hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, malchei hashalom, malchei elyon. Mi melech malchei alachim hakadosh baruch hu.
Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without the presence. Baruch Hu, 146.
Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Praised Adonai, to whom our praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due now and forever.
Amen.
Continue with Shema.
Page 152.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
In English, these words from the Torah. The next page, 154. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Take to heart these words which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you will remember to observe all my commandments, to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. Adonai Elohechem. Amen. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom. O God, watch over us. Bring us the shelter of your peace. Guard us in our darkness. Bring us back to life. Spread a peace, shelter of peace over us, over all Jerusalem. We listen to the words of Micha Mocha, this song of liberation, sung now on this holiday of Passover, as we look to the other side.
Mi chamocha benim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar bar kodesh, norat ahilot, osef ele, norat ahilot, osef ele, malechutacha ra'u banecha, bokei Yam, lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, zeli, zeli, anu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai Yimloch Le'olam Va'ed.
Shabbat, this most joyous of days. Take some time in the next 24 hours to keep Shabbat, to walk, to read, to be present in this day of rest.
Please join me in singing of Yismachu, and that is on page 162.
Yismachu v'malechutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat, v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismachu v'malechutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat, v'korei oneg Shabbat. Mekadeshe Shvi Shabbat, Kulam Yismahu v'yitangu mitu v'chashabat. Yismachu v'malechutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat, v'korei oneg Shabbat. Uvashvi ratzita bo v'kidashto Shabbat, chemdad yamim oto charata Shabbat. Yismachu b'malechutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat, v'korei oneg Shabbat. Zecher l'maaseh v'reshit Shabbat. Zecher l'maaseh v'reshit Shabbat. Yismachu b'malechutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat, v'korei oneg Shabbat.
On the next page, Adonai sifatai tiftach, ufi agiti latecha, O God, open up our lips, that our mouths may declare your praise.
Adonai sefatai tiftach, ufi agita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. El Hagedol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh Hakol, V'tzocher Chazdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Gula livnei v'neim, L'man Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mekayeh hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia. Mechakeh chayim le'chesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim. Zomech noflim ve'rofeh cholim, U'matir asurim, U'mkayem emunato lishenei afar. Michamocha ba'al gevorot, U'midom elach, Melech memit, U'mchaye, Ematzmiach רק ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהיו כסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. Amen. May all who despair find purpose. Amen. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. Amen. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Take a moment, a silent moment, as we offer this prayer, usually recited privately. Elohai Nitzor, Lashoni Meira Usfatai, Medaber Mirma, Valim Kalalai Nafshim Tidom Vanafshik Afar Lachol Tiyeh. O God, guard my speech from evil and my lips from deception. Before those who slander me, I will hold my tongue. I will practice humility. Open my heart to your Torah, that I may pursue your mitzvot. As for all those who think evil of me, cancel their designs, frustrate their schemes. Act for your own sake, for the sake of your power, so that your loved ones may be rescued. Answer me, O God. May the words of my mouth and meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer, Adonai Tzuri v'Goali.
Amen. Adonai Eloheinu be'amecha Yisrael u'tefiltam be'ahavat tekabel u'tehil ratzon tamid u'tehil ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha Baruch atah Adonai she'otecha levadecha be'ira navod ke'otecha levadecha be'ira
For those who are following with a prayer book online or in your hands, page 586, V'Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, נגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים עומדים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר וידוני למלך הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד.
For our Christian brothers and sisters, this is the weekend of Easter in which they rejoice in the victory of eternal life over death. For us, the time has not yet come. As we noted when we opened the door for Elijah at our Passover Seders, and as we note at the end of every Shabbat service, when just before the Kaddish we face the open ark and say, the time is not yet here, but we pray the time will come, free from war, free from disease, free from pain. And so on this Shabbat that is sacred for different faiths, for different reasons, we think of those who are no longer with us, taken from their bodies, although living on in our hearts, our memories, our own lives. On this Shabbat, we note the yahrzeits, the anniversaries of their deaths, of Bess Cooperman Baum, Bernie Card Bronstein, Gussie Coonan, James Brown, Ida Fred Cohn, Beatrice Durst, Beth Eisenman, Ruby Friedman, Sophie Gardner, Sarah Betty Gilbert, Frank Gilden, Nellie Hall, Francis Klotzman, Abraham Kreitman, Gertrude Kaplan Lander, Estelle Max, Sophia Miller, Simon Oderberg, Ethel Paul, Leonard Pulaski, Beverly Rosenfield, Rebecca Schiff, Rebecca Schoenfeld, Leo Shores, Libby Serber, Marcia Hass Sherman, Patrice Sloan, C.P. Snellgrove, Jack Steinharder, and the one-year anniversary of Isaac Izzy David Stenzler. And we do have a little bit of good news to add, which is on this time that Marilyn and Van Stenzler are marking the passing of their grandchild. They were blessed enough on the exact same day that they remember poor Izzy to welcome the birth of a granddaughter, Zoe Isabella Stenzler, to Nina and Zach. So those tears of memory are mingled with tears of joy. In addition, we add the names in this 30-day period of Shloshim of Cecile Mencken Price, Dean Schreier, Pauline Wittenberg, and Dr. Julian Haber. And before we join in Kaddish, a word about Bernice Etkoff. In a ritual that is becoming far too common for all of us, every couple of weeks we join with you here before Kaddish to share a little bit about the life of one who was buried privately. Bernice Etkoff, like Dr. Haber before her and Pauline before him, was laid to rest at a small ceremony, in Bernice's case, graveside on Tuesday, with just the immediate family and many who could not be there because they were not allowed to travel. And so just a few words from her daughter and family, Bernice, 93, who was a loving wife and mother and grandmother and great-grandmother and sister, who passed away Monday at her home in the Museum District area. A private graveside service was held Tuesday. I was present, but led by Rabbi Mecklenberger, who did a beautiful job recalling Bernice and her life. Bernice lived a full life, born in Boston, moving at about almost 70 years. She was born in 1926, and just over 70 years later, moving to Henderson, Nevada, to be there with her son and his daughters as they grew up. And then in 2003, moving here to Fort Worth to be here near her Texas granddaughters as they grew. Bernice's life was filled with family. Bernice's life was filled with love and warmth and animals and stray cats and volunteering and synagogue work when she was younger. She is remembered by her children, Michelle and Louis, and their spouses, Fred and Marilyn, and her many, many grandchildren, Lori and Courtney, Jennifer and Allison, and their spouses, as well as great-grandchildren, Grayson and Jackson, Ralph and Asher, and so many others. Her brother and her brothers, Leonard and Mort, her sister, Bibi, and so many others. I want to share with you on a personal note that the words that Michelle wrote resonated with me. I had the privilege to visit Bernice in her home a while back. She was on my list of people to call, reaching out to the isolated. Did not get that chance again this week. But Bernice was proud of her home and proud of her family, the consummate hostess. I wanted to visit her, and she was mostly homebound those last few years. Or I am told homebound because her daughter told her she could not leave without her. But she was homebound, and I would plan to visit her during the day, and inevitably things would arise, and I'd say, Bernice, I'm going to be there, but a couple hours late. And Bernice would say, I put all the food away. I thought you weren't coming. Because it turned out that if I said I would drop by, Bernice imagined in her mind something much more formal. When I finally got to visit Bernice, it was a ritual. It was a sense of welcoming into her home. We started in the breakfast room. We ate. We didn't have a choice. All kinds of wonderful baked goods. Then she showed me all the pictures around her refrigerator. And then she brought me into her living room, asking me repeatedly if I'd had enough to eat. And showed me albums of her family, pictures from her life, told me so many stories of growing up, was such a wonderful, welcoming, kind host, made sure to show me the backyard where she would try to feed the cats, so everything that was said here is true, and then would say, you have to take a package home. And I would say, I'm really great. Nope. And she would say, how many children do you have? And that, I am told, determined the amount of food she gave me to bring home. Bernice was a wonderful hostess and a kind and compassionate soul and a true Eshet Chayil, a woman of praise, a woman of valor. And so our prayers go out to Michelle and her family as they remember their mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, aunt, sibling, Bernice. For all who are remembering the Kaddish, on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divra chirutei v'amlich malchutei, b'chayei chon u'v'yomei chon, b'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, b'agalal v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam elomei al-mayal, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar, v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shmeid kudsha brichu, le'ila min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiram bi'amal v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Zichronam levracha, may their memories be for a blessing, inspiring us to be our best selves. And let us say, Amen. As we conclude, apologies again to whenever you see this service, but we are glad you're with us. I want to wish you an easy rest of Passover, a safe Passover. Remember to keep up that social distancing, but do remember to get some air. These next few days will be cool for mid-April, which is a nice relief at what's usually a very hot, humid time. So enjoy our closing song. If only you hadn't brought us out of Egypt, if only you hadn't given us Shabbat, if only you hadn't given us the Torah, but thank goodness you did. Dayid.
Ilu Hotzianu, Hotzianu mi Mitzrayim, Hotzianu mi Mitzrayim, Dayenu, 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 Dayenu. Ilu natalanu, natalanu et hashabat, natalanu et hashabat dayenu, 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 dayenu. Ilu natalanu, natalanu et haTorah, natalanu et haTorah dayenu, 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 dayenu.
Hayenu, thank you for your patience on this Shabbat as we figure this out. Thank you, Mark Sloter, for all your help. We will try to have this figured out next week. In the meantime, Yivarecha Adonai v'yishmarecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God guard you and watch over you and keep you strong, healthy, until we are able to meet again in person. Amen.
Amen. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Thank you.
Of course, thank you very much.
Okay, I'll turn off this light. There we go.